What is up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Atlas Hour. It is Saturday. I am just about to have my collagen peptides here. In the mornings, I like to pound some amount of a full shaker. So today I'm going to be doing collagen. I really like the Athletic Greens. Recently, I've been drinking that, and for a long time, I thought it was all hype, and it's still very well maybe all hype. But see, what happened was we just recently moved into this new place and got a package for the previous owner, sent it back, and they sent it back here again. We sent it back saying this person's not here. They sent it back again. So I'm like, okay, you guys obviously aren't taking this. You're not doing anything with it. I'm going to open it up and see what's in here. This happened with a few different packages, by the way. 3, I think, to be exact. One of them was Athletic Greens. I was stoked on it because, hey, I've always wanted to try it. You know, Derek hypes them up or whatever, is sponsored. Oh, I feel like this is going to leak. I fucking hate when shakers leak. Okay, it's not leaking. Anyways, Derek, is reps them, Huberman, a lot of notable people like Athletic Greens, and I always figured it doesn't matter who reps them, I feel like if the pay is good enough, anybody will rep anything for most of us, as ethical as you are. But anyways, I gave them a try, and I really freaking liked it. It was the taste is what's up, and I'm a big taste person. Like historically, the pre-workout that tastes the best is the pre-workout that I will drink. It doesn't really matter how well the thing makes me feel or not. I mean, that's not 100% true. Obviously, it has to have some bit of efficacy, but if the taste is on point, it's good for me. I said there was 2 other packages though too, and just a funny aside, we also got finasteride. If you know me, I am not a fan of finasteride. I will never take that stuff. I think I would rather be bald than have to take finasteride. And we got a vaginal suppository. And I don't think Victoria's going to use that one. I think we may have probably even tossed it out already. So one of 3 things were really good. So I got the Athletic Greens. Liked the taste. Been doing that daily, but my pack ran out. I'm contemplating getting a subscription, but I'm like the cheapest rich. It's weird calling myself rich, but I'm the cheapest person with a good amount of money that I know. I'm like $100. I don't want to say how much I make, but that's like nothing to my monthly income. And I'm like, I don't know, $100 is a lot of money. It's weird. The wealthier I get, the less I want to spend my money. So I haven't yet pulled the trigger on the Athletic Greens. I was hoping Derek would have some hookup or something, but he does have a code, which I will use to see, maybe try to get it. I don't know. Anyways, all that to be said, in the morning, I like to pound something. I don't really like to chug water. And I do a lot of things wrong. I don't go straight to water when I wake up. I'm hungrier than I am thirsty, so I eat right away before drinking water. And then I don't want to fill my stomach up on water. I want to enjoy my coffee. So I have coffee before my water too. Probably the worst thing anyone could do if you're talking to a modern influencer or biohacker. But hey, that's what I do. But at some point in the day, I make sure that I get my full shaker of water. I also have here some prescription grade DHEA and pregnenolone. Probably people are going to ask, do you need these? I would say get labs and work with somebody who knows, symptoms and before you just go start taking it. I also have ezetimibe here. My lipids are not bad, but I am in an extremely aggressive camp of lipid management that basically just wants to abolish ApoB and keep it as low as possible. So that's why I take ezetimibe, even though I have no issues with lipids. I try to keep it down as low as possible. I don't see the need for a statin. I've taken statins in the past. I can do a whole episode on this sometime, just to see what they were like. I didn't have any side effects with statins, but I don't really like filling my body with things I don't necessarily need. Ezetimibe is so mild and has such a kind of a low risk mechanism of action that I feel like I can have it in. But I do most of my lipid management via my diet. But anyways, I'm going to try to pound this. This is going to be kind of embarrassing to do on camera, but whatever. Let's do this, and then we'll get into the rest of the episode. In the meantime, you guys, it's Saturday. Let me know what you're doing. While I'm chugging this, tell me what you guys are up to this Saturday. Good shit. All right, so that's how I deal with my water, because I don't really enjoy water. So I mix in something like collagen. People always ask me, are collagens beneficial? I'm like, for me it is. It gets me more water. I actually really like the taste profile that Derek and the guys over at Gorilla did on this one. It tastes amazing, and it helps me to get a lot more water in through the day. So that's the biggest benefit for me on that one. It's like the same for the Athletic Greens. If I can chug something that tastes pretty good first thing in the morning, that gets me, how many ounces are in this? 20? Yeah, 20 ounces right away. I usually do that again around noon. And then I do actually drink a lot of water before bed. See, I don't do any of the normal kind of influencer biohacking, health optimization stuff. I drink a good amount of water before bed, and I almost always wake up to piss at least once. But it is what it is. But yeah, what are you guys up to this Saturday? Saturdays for me historically are a big lifting day. My workouts throughout the week are pretty shit. They're not terrible, but we wake up first thing in the morning and go down there. I'll be, pretty much dragging when I do workout, and it's okay. But Saturday and Sunday I like to go after I've eaten breakfast, and it's nice. I enjoy that. So Saturdays are big lifting days for me. This week, I have Tanner Tattered coming on here in a few hours. We're going to hop on a podcast. I'm excited for that. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's been gaining a lot of traction on Instagram. Younger kid. Met him recently on another podcast, on the First Attachment podcast with Joe Miller. And, what's his name? Joe Miller. And who's the other guy who owns First Attachment? Justin Harris. God damn. Sorry, Justin. I'm terrible with names. Very sorry. But yeah, I met Tanner Tattered recently. He's a really cool kid. I really enjoy him. He knows a lot about SARM, so I'm looking forward to talking to him a bit about that. I'm going to get a workout in, and I think I'm going to go to the mall, which sounds awful. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, like first thing, right when it opens. We'll be like one of those, the old people who cruise the mall before it even opens, before all the stores start. We'll be hanging out with them so that the moment the store that I want opens, I can go in before anybody else, because I am such an antisocial human. I hate being around people, especially at the mall. I just look around and see just fucking fat people everywhere. They're slow as fuck. You can't move. And you just see everybody consuming and wasting their money. And it stresses me out. But I need to go get some clothes. Maybe I'm just another fat American consumer. I want to go to Rhone, though. If you guys know Rhone, let me know. Few clothing companies I like. State and Liberty is probably hands down my favorite clothing company. It's like athletic fit suits and things like that. And then Rhone is like a very similar. It's kind of like has the Lulu-esque kind of shorts and gym stuff, but then they've also started making a lot of leisure, or not leisure, but probably like business casual. And that's something I'm always constantly struggling with, is like my style. So I fall into two different camps. I'm heavily influenced by two different camps. We have the Hormozi camp, who is like, fuck it, wear whatever makes you feel the most comfortable and just be yourself. And that's what he tends to do. Sometimes I wonder if this is a hard, deep, philosophical kind of questioning, but is he actually just doing exactly what he wants to do, or is he doing it because it fits his brand? I feel like none of us, again, this is deep and philosophical, and I don't even fully know how to articulate it. I don't know if any of us are truly 100% individual and just ourselves, right? So we always have, in sociology, we talk about the stage, where we are always on stage when we're, out to the public. Right now, this is my stage. You guys are my audience. I'm not necessarily being my most true self, no matter how hard I try. There is a deeper self behind that. And I've always wondered if even that backstage is not influenced by, obviously, all the audience all the time. So like, it's hard to really determine who you are as a true individual. And does anybody really know you? Sometimes I don't even really know if I know myself. I've always battled with that. Anyways, different time. I need somebody else to talk back at me, to give me some ideas to help to articulate that. Interesting thought. But I wonder, is like Hormozi really that authentic, or is he just doing that because it fits his brand? Probably a little of both. So that's one camp I fall into, though, just like the fuck it, wear whatever you want and be comfortable. And then I fall into the other camp of Jordan Peterson, who's like, really harps on men should dress elevate their style and dress dress kind of, fuck, I've lost the words I'm looking for, but, dress nice and elegant and have some class. And I definitely agree with that because I don't know, there's just something about a man in a suit, dressed nice, dressed elegantly, that elevates them as a person. I feel like that when you put on a suit, you feel a completely different air about you. And it does influence who you are and what you do. So I struggle with that, and I've been kind of erring more on the Jordan Peterson side of things. Like, let me just always dress really nice and present myself well. I also always think about something my dad mentioned when I was younger. We were raised pretty darn religious in a Christian household. My dad is very, very, I guess, I would say religious, spiritual, truth-seeking, but he knows the Bible in and out and very, very into that sort of thing. I no longer am, though I feel like there are definitely some really good tenets to Christianity and all religions. I myself am more, I guess, spiritual, kind of agnostic, where I don't know. I don't know what there is out there and what is the exact truth, but I do not doubt the existence of something more than what we have here, right? So I really like a lot of different spirituality. But one thing my dad said growing up was Jesus wore a white robe so that he could fit in with anybody. He could, it was just plain single white robe. He could hang out with peasants and not make them feel kind of like, less than. And he could also go dine with kings and still fit in at that table. And I like that a lot. So I kind of like that, not being over the top dressed up with Gucci belts and Versace shoes and all kinds of shit where you can't fit in with, people who are of a lower status than you, and you can also go sit and dine with kings and presidents and shit like that. So I really liked that advice. I think that's a good advice. And I try to be kind of neutral like that so I can fit in with every group that I come across. Today, it's Saturday, and I'm wearing a t-shirt. I've been trying not to wear t-shirts on these. I've been trying to always wear like a collared shirt or sweater or something and look a little bit more upscale, but it is what it is. These are the Atlas t-shirts. They're on the website if you guys ever wanted to pick them up. But today's thoughts, today's thoughts after all that I just spewed at you, what I really wanted to talk about today's shower thoughts. This mic, sorry if that's loud. Today's shower thoughts were interesting. In fact, they weren't even really shower thoughts. They began as night thoughts. You guys ever wake up in the middle of the night and just start thinking about something? So I did today. I woke up around probably 4, a little earlier than normal, and then Benji woke up and Victoria woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I was sitting there thinking. And I was thinking about a quote from Seth Feroce, one of my favorite quotes, which is, "You don't have problems, you have more work to do. No problems, more work." It's kind of his tagline. And that's a statement that I feel like has a lot of truth and validity to it and hits hard. And I think it's 100% accurate. If you don't really know what that means, it's essentially saying like none of us have, well, not that we don't ever have problems. Sometimes problems do exist. But take, for example, this move that I did that I've told you guys I'm unhappy about doing, moving out here to Dallas, Texas in order to start a podcast with somebody who wasn't able to start a podcast with me. And yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I wasted a lot of money moving out here, probably somewhere around $20,000 to move out here and build this studio and everything. And I could look at that as that's a problem, or I could look at it as I just have more work to do now, which is the lens that I've decided to look at it through. I could sit there and dwell on it and say, this is a problem. I don't have a co-host. How am I going to film this podcast? I decided to say, that's not a problem. That means I have more work to do. It's not going to be as easy to sit down every day and film the podcast like I wanted it to be. I'm going to have to be uncomfortable and vulnerable. Like I said, I don't like doing this myself, talking to a camera thing, talking to an imaginary crowd out there. But that's not a problem, right? That's just more work. I need to work hard and get it done and do it. I need to sit down here every day and fucking do it. It's just more work. So it wasn't a problem. My office is a mess right now. Is that a problem? Nope. It's just more work. It's a mess because I have papers spread all around because it's, what day is it? It's September 9th. It's it's 6 days away from tax day, quarterly tax day. I have $20,000, another $20,000 recurring thing. Another $20,000 to pay in taxes, quarterly taxes. Problem? Nope, just means more work. If I don't like how that puts a hit in my or a dent in my money, then I just have more work to do. I need to make more money, so that 20 grand is nothing to me. Yeah, and again, that doesn't mean that we don't ever have problems. Somebody in your family gets diagnosed with terminal cancer and there's no cure. Sure, that's a real problem, but we need to differentiate what our problems are versus what just requires more work. And if you can start to frame life in that way, that I don't have problems, and stop feeling sorry for yourself and just embracing the fact that you have more work to do, it will go a long way. Every time in my life that I've decided to not dwell on it and just work harder, I've been able to succeed. And as I talked about before, not only succeed, but usually elevate myself and get further in life than I ever thought possible. So my advice for you guys today is, if there's anything that you're looking at in life that feels like a problem, that feels hard, that you're scared of, whatever, stop looking at it as a problem and just start looking at it as an opportunity to do more work. And that's another thing. It's an opportunity. You get to do more work. I think that if all of us looked at work a little bit differently, like this is something I get to do, that also helps. And I fully understand that it's extremely hard to be, working at a 9 to 5 in like McDonald's, flipping burgers and finding some fulfillment out of that. But I do think it's possible. And I think that when you do that, when you make that possible, when you find it fulfilling, it's a game changer. Absolutely. Because you no longer are just like, I have to go do this. It's I get to do this. And I know this is probably seen as like toxic positivity and all this bullshit, but I hate the fact that positivity is looked at negatively these days. You kind of have two choices, right? You can decide to be like, oh, I have to go to work and this fucking sucks, I have to flip burgers. Or you can decide to kind of frame it in a way that's positive. I get to go flip burgers. There's people who don't have jobs. I get to feed people. I make a difference in some extent. Like you do make a difference. So frame it in that way. Find the positive shit and disregard the negative. And if that's toxic, then fuck it. I mean, I'm sorry that these people are so miserable these days that you can't even talk about positivity without being canceled. Like, what more can we fucking cancel? Now you're telling me I'm too positive all the time? That is just insane. Like, I want to experience my misery and you're degrading it. Like, fuck you. Just get over yourself. Be positive. There's a lot to be happy about. Don't bring me down with you. Toxic negativity is what these people are. All right, that was my rant for the day. Anyways, I think I can just end it there. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Let me know what you're hitting at the gym. What are you doing? Are you going to the mall and watching fat people spend too much money too? Are you having problems or are you working harder? Let me know. See you guys in the next one. Maybe tomorrow. See you then.